Experience the joy of watching your friends and family's faces light up when you feed them wild game you harvested and made into delicious sausages. Or meet you barbecue and grill with the finest seasonings available. Visit our friends at waltons.com to find everything you need to turn wild game into tasty meat snacks or spice up your barbecue with new flavors and seasonings. With over 500 seasonings to choose from, there's something that everyone will love. They even have step-by-step videos and how-to articles at Meatgistics to help you go from animal to edible. Use coupon Rangers15 at checkout. Save 15% on your first order at waltons.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.
This is T.R. Sullivan, and you're listening to the Rangers Report podcast.
The Ranger Report. Yeah, the Ranger Report. If you want the inside scoop, listen to the Ranger Report. Oh, here we go.
This is the Ranger Report podcast. News, insights, predictions, interviews, and information about the Texas Rangers from the major leagues to the minor leagues. And now, here are your hosts, Ben Dieter and CJ Berryman.
All right, well, we'll go ahead and get it started. Welcome, everybody, to the Ranger Report Live Twitter Spaces. We're glad you are here. There's a lot of Rangers to talk about right now. I am joined by CJ Berryman.
Yeah, I'm here. CJ Berryman. Score.
Well, I mean, they can see that if they're on here, so.
Yeah. But if you're listening late, like the Prospect Times, I tried to bully them into getting. By the way, being a bully is not it's not all it's cracked up to be.
No, it's difficult, and we
tried
also
to get the Prospect to get on, but it didn't work because the wife.
Yeah.
His wife. That trumps everything, so I shut up.
We also have John Moore on. John, what's going on?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Going good. And then Kane is getting. I think Kane's on now. Kane, how's it going, man?
Yeah, I'm good. My bad. Mine was not working for some reason. I don't know what was up with that.
Hey, got a lot of listeners here. So.
No, the first time we did one, CJ couldn't get it to work at all. So that I mean, not for a while anyway. So it happens.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kane, we got a lot of listeners here.
All right, let's start. Oh, you want Kane to go now? Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
All right, so this is the first time I've really told anyone on the internet, so you guys are the first one to hear. So, whoever didn't know, I am going into my senior year of high school, and just recently I got accepted into Dallas Baptist University, so that was my dream school, and that's where I'm going to be going in the fall.
Dude, that's awesome.
Next fall.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man, that's good news.
20 minutes from my office.
I'm cool.
Crying. No, I'm not.
No, I'm super excited, but I mean, it was always up there, and just getting a Christ-centered education was important to me, so I'm super excited.
Yeah, dude, that is awesome.
Proud of you, brother.
That is good stuff. All right, tonight we wanted to talk a little bit about the Rangers series with the Angels, some player things. Then we wanted to get into trade deadline stuff because that happens on Tuesday. So let's start off. The Rangers took.
I'll be at the ballpark.
Oh, cool. The Rangers took 3 out of 4 from the Angels. Should have taken 4 out of 4. Yeah, but I mean, is it just me, or are the Angels a team that has pretty much given up?
I don't think so. I don't think anybody gives up. I just think they don't have the tools in the tool chest.
Okay.
But they haven't for years, John. They haven't for years.
No, they had two. They have the 2 best players in baseball.
Yeah.
So it's not that. I think they just Art Moreno's dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, he spends money when he sees a big shiny toy and he goes and spends money, and he doesn't realize.
This Artie Moreno should have been done like 5 years ago.
Well, you can't get rid of owners though, so.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
He's an idiot. I mean, he sees big shiny toys. When there's someone on the free agent market, he overbid when everybody threw a big fit over what's his name, Rendon, with the Rangers not getting Rendon, and I was like, there's no way I'd have spent what they spent on him.
No.
For the Rangers. They didn't need to spend that money, and all Ranger fans threw a fit over that. And I was like, that is the dumbest.
It's too many shiny toys and not enough soot around it, I guess is the best way to say it.
So he is Art Moreno's an idiot, and he's done it again. He spent too much money. They're leveraged. with too much money. They don't have a good minor league system. Their top prospect for the last couple of years is somebody they basically got on the market right now. They're saying Joe Adell is somebody they're wanting to move. So, I don't want to hear. The Angels aren't quitting. They're run poorly. Is what they are. They're just run idiotically by their owner. Is an idiot.
I can live with that. All right, I wanted also to start tonight with immediate overreaction from the day. But man, Jonathan Hernandez looked good in the 9th inning, guys, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I mean, I think he's going to be getting some more cracks in that and leverage because with the bullpen situation the way it is, and I mean, Woody even said he was saving him for the 9th on last night. So I think he's going to get some more cracks at it.
Well, what would impress me most was
careful coming off Tommy John. He's just now coming back.
Yep.
I mean, they're going to be careful with him. Woodward said last night what he was going to do. He wanted him for the bullpen, just like Kane said. They didn't get to there. Everybody gets upset about, what's this team doing? Why are they going to the bullpen with these guys? I mean, you're kind of stuck. I mean, look, at some point, you've got 7 guys in that bullpen, and you really only got 3 or 4 you trust right now. So, I mean, he's playing with the deck he's dealt. So,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
go ahead, CJ. Go ahead.
The strikeout pitch for tonight was a 99-mile-an-hour sinker. Holy crap! Yeah, that's closer stuff.
Yeah, if he's on, he's completely unhittable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he's on, he is. I saw him in Round Rock when he was rehabbing, and he had one game where he didn't look great, and another game where those guys. I mean, they didn't have a chance in the world, and that's the same way at the major leagues if he's 100% on. Speaking of someone, go ahead. Speaking of someone being 100% on, I know John, you harped on this a lot, and so did Jeff, so did CJ and I, and Kane. Everybody, don't worry about Marcus Semien. Do you think Marcus Semien's okay now?
No, yeah, exactly.
No, it's exactly what I said. I mean, he got a horrible start.
Yeah,
he just had a horrible start.
We all agreed on this at the beginning, like just wait because you can explode. And now what's happening?
It was the first month and a half of a 7-year contract where he's making 28. I don't remember what he is making AAV.
Now what are those people saying?
Well, it's what it was. It's the same with Semien. Semien wasn't exactly doing what you expect from Semien either. And then all of a sudden it's like everybody be patient. They're the only 2 guys in the lineup while they figure this thing out.
Yeah,
they're going to be Marcus Semien and they're going to be Corey Seager, and especially when people were calling it a bust, it's hard to do that a month and a half into the first year of a contract. That you better get ready. If it's a bust, it's going to be a long bust.
Yeah,
we're talking 7 to 10 year bust.
Go ahead, Kane.
And I was going to say, I remember writing an article about it, and I saw people were like, "Screw this! Marcus Semien just absolutely robbed the Rangers." And I'm like, "Bro, this dude is too good to sit there and struggle like that all year."
Why do they keep putting him in? Why do they keep putting him in? Why do they keep playing him? It's because it's Marcus Semien.
Yeah.
I mean, you keep playing him because once he figures it out, look, you guys have been there too. I'm there all the time. But I think there's this misconception out there about what these guys put into being major leaguers. And, I mean, we get there at 2 o'clock or 2:30. These guys are going nonstop, man. They're working out.
Yeah.
They're out there taking early batting practice. Marcus Semien during his slump, he had a bat in his hand walking around all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally he expects to be one of the best players for that contract, and you just got to be patient. I mean, it was the first month of the first year of those contracts, and everybody, it's just those certain Ranger fans. You just got to, that's part of the game.
Well, and I'll go ahead.
I was just going to say, don't even get me started because I've heard 800 times, Seager doesn't care, Seager doesn't work hard. Well, that's not every time I get to the stadium and he's out there working in the field and he's out there hitting. That's not what that says that he doesn't care. That's just total crap.
He does this weird thing. Seager does this thing. He has his own private hitting coach. And I've seen him do it at least 5 or 6 times. He does a deal where he gets on an iPad and he hooks it up on a tripod, and he's out in the middle of that place where those buses can come down in there, you know, that walkway down below when you're going in. And he'll be out there over by the media elevators. And then he'll stop and let everybody walk by, but he'll be doing something into that thing, taking a swing, and he's working. He's got earpods in, and he's working with somebody, his own private coach, and, you know, that's gotten him where he is. And then he a lot of times he hits in the indoor cage. There's an indoor cage right off the dugout over there that he'll go into. So you won't see him many times hitting on outside, but you'll see him take infield and do stuff like that. But he does something on this iPad where he's down there working on stuff always. I mean, I've seen him do it. He used to, at spring training, he would just be over by one of the dugouts at one of those front fields doing it, you know, working with that stuff.
Yeah, so both those guys are okay. By the way, at this point, if anyone has a question, comment, or just wants to say something, raise your hand and we'll get you on at this point.
Raise it up.
All right. CJ brought this up earlier to me, and I thought this was an interesting stat. Dane Dunning has 8 quality starts this year, but just 1 win. Baseball stats are fluky sometimes.
That's the way baseball goes sometimes.
That's the way baseball go. I mean, 8 quality starts, 1 win.
That's a guy that you want, though. A guy that you want is going to throw that many quality starts. He's not going to be electric. He's not going to, you know, blow anybody away, but he's going to give you quality starts. That's a Colby Lewis. And John and I talked about this, and Ben and Kane, we've talked about this. That's a guy that is invaluable in the rotation, don't you think?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he's going to be here a while. He'll be the back end of the rotation. He's not supposed to be the top 3 in a rotation. He's supposed to be your 4 or 5.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be a really good one. And again, you know, the Rangers are going to put up some numbers. He's not always going to have, you know, minimal run support. He's going to get some run support. He's going to get some wins. But yeah, he's just that workhorse, I think. And he's looking good this year. He's had some couple of rough outings, but they all do throughout an entire year. But I think John is exactly right. He's a 4 or a 5, and he'll be a 4 or 5 for the Rangers for a long time.
I change this up, Ben, a little bit. Just kind of throw this in at the end here. From our notes, Taylor Hearn seems way more comfortable when somebody else pitches in front of him.
And when he doesn't have to go through a lineup 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. That's Taylor's thing. Look, I said it earlier. You know, you're going to get into trade deadline talk here in just a second, but Taylor's job, Matt Moore is the most likely guy to get moved, and he's going to get moved. Taylor Hearn might slide into that kind of Matt Moore move and slide over to that where he could be a long guy, maybe a spot start. Because I think honestly, they're going to be coming up with some. No matter what happens on trade deadline, they're going to.
Well, let's be honest with Taylor. That's on him, man. It really is.
Yeah, no, but he can't see a lineup that many times. It doesn't work for Taylor. Love him to death, sweet guy.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude, man. We've had him on, you've had him on, love him to death. But yeah,
his sister's awesome. I mean, she gets on here all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, being a realist, it is what it is. He just can't start a game.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with being a great bullpen arm.
He can start a game, but you got to just look, this is a guy that's a left-hander throwing 96 to 98 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The Rangers aren't just going to give up on him because of a couple of bad
No, absolutely not.
No, I agree. I agree with you completely. Yeah.
But I just think that the starter days are over. I mean,
it could be for now. For now, it is. I think he'll get passed up. But
in the future, if you looked at it, John and Kane, you can speak up here too. I see him being like a 7th, 8th inning guy that comes in and throws 98 because when he can go full bore, he can bring it up there in the high 90s and almost hit 100. That's what I think is invaluable, and he's left-handed. So,
yeah,
what do you think? Is that what y'all think?
I mean, yeah, I mean that stuff. Like what you just said, like 98, like that stuff plays out of the bullpen. You know, I mean, it might.
I don't know. So it's a whole different mindset. You're talking about an 8th or 9th inning guy. I think he's going to be more of a long guy.
Yeah.
8th or 9th inning guy, he's got to be ready to go every day. I don't think Taylor's – I mean, he's done it before, but with that kind of stuff he has, he can go more than three hitters. I think he's a tandem guy. He's if you're doing 8th or 9th inning.
Would he be in your mind like a Scott Feldman type guy, John?
Well, Feldman was a starter, you know.
Well, no. In the World Series years, he was a flex. It's kind of a flex.
Yeah, I can see that. I still don't think they're quite giving up yet as a starter yet. But I don't know yet. Right now, this season they have, but that's because Chris Woodward's made it known that he's gonna play to win every game. I know people don't believe that, but he plays every game to win. And right now, they don't trust Taylor in leverage situations.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, I love your commentary on people that are shitting on Woody. I love it. And we'll get into that. We'll get into that later.
All right, we got a question, guys, from Walker. Walker, how's it going, man?
Oh, I didn't have a question. I was just going to contribute on the back end of that Taylor Hearn thing.
Oh, sure, yeah, man. Go on.
I really this is going to sound like a mop-up guy, but that's not what I mean. Like, I think that if you have to get a starter out early, I think Taylor's going to be the guy that Woodward or whoever the next manager is, whoever you're going to entrust with the team next year, Taylor's going to be the guy that you need. He can give you 3 innings out of the pen and just kind of keep a game under control and keep you in a game for a stretch. Yeah. I don't think he's starting again, though.
Yeah, I would agree that at least not this year. He's not starting again. They may work him, but that facing, like you said, sort of that coming in mop up guy. I like that idea. He can definitely do that when he goes through 7, 8, 9 guys. He seems to do a good job, and then it seems to go bad.
Well, you're talking about on a winning team. You got to remember, guys, when you're on a winning team, a guy you don't let a guy try to work through an inning where he gives up 3 or 4 runs in the first or second. You get them out. Every win matters.
Yeah.
Right now, and I know they're playing to win right now, but they still have to develop some of these guys. So they've still got to. Sometimes it's a learning experience. How are you going to react after you gave up 4? Let's try you out one more time. Will you go do a shutdown inning, especially if a team,
Yeah. All right. This wasn't.
Some of the problem is that they've got so many guys. So many of their high leverage arms are off of injuries. So they are just short on dudes. I feel like people I know that the bullpen complaining about the bullpen is fun and really even myself I complain about Woodward's management of it a lot, but I didn't really think about that until I listened to the press conference last night, that they're managing so many guys that are off such serious injuries. You think about the fact that Leclerc hasn't pitched competitive baseball in essentially 2 years.
Neither has Hernandez.
Yeah, and then neither is Hernandez, and then Burke's off a serious shoulder injury, and if you're going to rely on him in the future for high leverage, you don't want him to get hurt again.
Yeah.
So it is something that I didn't think about until last night. And now thinking about it, it is hard to manage. And then you're talking about potentially losing Matt Moore by Tuesday, so it could get even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, you're correct about that. All right, so I have a question for John, and then anyone else can answer it when I'm done. But what else does Cole Reagans have to do to prove he's ready?
Not much.
That's what I was thinking.
They got to open. You got to clear a roster spot.
Yeah.
Clear a roster spot.
Yeah, because he has looked as good or better at AAA than he did at AA.
No, he's definitely. Y'all got to remember, Cole Reagans was a top. I think he was a number 24 pick. He was thought of as a top half of the that draft class he was in, a definite first round pick. I mean, out of Florida. This guy, and do y'all even remember the numbers he put up when he signed that summer and went and played for Spokane?
Yeah.
And was unreal.
Yep.
He was untouchable. He was untouchable.
Yeah. But again, I was there for his first start in Round Rock, and it was really impressive. And it hasn't gone down. And that's what the Rangers said. They want to see it consistently. And he is one guy that we are seeing it from consistently. Speaking of people
listen, and if all the listeners follow Scott Lucas,
I'm sure
Twitter,
they do.
Yeah, I hope they do, because you'll get weekly or daily reports. And every time I saw Cole Reagans' name, it was him kicking ass. And
and while you're promoting things, by the way, don't forget about Jeff Wilson's Texas Rangers newsletter. That thing is awesome. Rangers Today, $5.99 a month, $60 for a year. I bought it right when it came out, re-up to this year, and I have never been disappointed. He does Fridays on the farm, and those are some fantastic reports.
Ben, they're our competitor. Quit talking shit about them.
They're not our competitor.
Hey, I will say this about Reagans. I want to see how the arm holds up for a few more weeks, because he is off the double Tommy John.
Yeah, correct.
And so I do want to see if the velo and the production holds through the middle of August.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And John, you can chime in whenever you want here, and Ben, you can too, and we'll help. Kane, you're going to college, so
not yet.
You can be in. Oh yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I got one more year.
Cole Reagans has the stuff to be. I mean, I don't know, at minimum a number 3 starter. He's left-handed. He's crafty. He knows how to pitch guys that are in the batter's box.
He has been compared to Cole Hamels since he was in high school.
And that's a great thing to compare to. Great thing to be.
Yeah, if I was a pitcher, I would not mind being compared to Cole Reagans at all. I mean, Cole Hamels, sorry.
Well, one thing too about Reagans is like before the season started, you would have thought that Cole Winn was going to get the first shot
exactly
as a pitcher, and
no, and I don't agree with that. Yeah, I know where you're going. Go ahead.
But now I'm saying now Reagans shot himself up into he's going to get the shot first.
But like John said, Winn had a really good start today, and he's been looking good of late.
And see, these are guys. Think about it last year and how tumultuous last year was. And now we're talking about, well, how do we get last year we were saying Cole Winn's going to be up there. We weren't even talking about Cole Reagans at all. And now here we are.
Yeah.
So it's amazing what 1 year will do, especially when, I'll go ahead and say it, and John knows this way more than we do, how that front office is operating, and they're doing a damn good job. I'll go ahead and say that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, CJ, the John Daniels hater, is going with a good job for the front office.
No, I hate him for period. But right now, he's backed off. It's a Chris Young's deal, and John said it. It's Chris Young's deal, right?
Yeah. So when we went up there after they made the draft of Kamar, and we were there for that press conference, John Daniels was over to the side. He wasn't even wearing the same clothes. Everyone else was wearing their suit and tie and all of that, and he was over to the side wearing a T-shirt.
Well, so, sometimes you got to.
Don't get me wrong. He's in the role that Nolan Ryan was in. He still has to sign off on any deal that's made over there. But Chris Young is the one working the phones.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So my next question is, and we're going to get into trade deadline stuff now, and this is involved in it, although it's sort of around it. The Rangers, in my opinion, need to keep Duran and Smith up for the rest of the year. How do they make that happen?
They don't trade them.
Yeah, well, but when Brad Miller comes back, one of them, or Duran technically should go back down, right?
You sell Cole Calhoun off for a lottery ticket.
That's
the extra roster spot.
that's where I was.
When
getting.
I say lottery ticket, I mean lottery ticket minor leaguer, not a literal lottery.
You sell Cole Calhoun. You sell him off.
Yeah.
For international, $100,000 in international money. You don't even need a flyer on that. I mean,
yeah.
Look, I like Cole Calhoun.
Yeah.
He's a veteran on the team, but right now this team. He's got an option for next year, but he's a good bat.
Like, hey, you need a veteran outfielder. It was the Braves when what's his name went down.
Yeah, he's a good guy to come off your bench to be. Yeah. They have a DH in the National League now. I mean, Cole Calhoun serves a purpose. He plays good defense.
Yeah, I agree. All right. I agree. So, getting into that, let's get into trade talk. I think Calhoun might go. Who else? Okay, let's start with the big one. Is Martin Perez going anywhere?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
All right, so we all agree.
I'm pretty sure they're heavily against that.
Yeah, we all agree. I think they're going to try to sign him to an extension soon.
I think so.
I'm hoping 3 for 30, 3 for 36, whatever it takes. Like,
yeah.
I mean, if he can be your 4 through the next window, then great.
Exactly.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, so
I don't know.
We all agree.
There's still a chance, guys. I mean,
I know that,
but you got to understand, Martin Perez. I mean, he talked to Evan Grant and kind of hinted at the fact that but there hasn't been an extension offered yet.
Okay.
So that means if the extension talk hasn't started, they're fielding offers.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's what my guess would be. I don't think they'll move him because the ask for that would be, hey, we really want this guy. We think we can extend him. But if someone's stupid enough to ask to come in and just swap for their top prospect, I mean, you do that.
So can I piggyback on that when you're finished?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I don't think you can trade him unless you have another starting pitcher already in the fold that you acquired, because I don't think you want to rush any of the guys out of the minors into a starting role in the majors before they're ready. So the only way I'm trading Martin is if I have another guy that I've already brought in that can start games right away.
Nah, you don't have to worry about that.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to go ahead and
you got
interrupt.
Dallas Keuchel down there.
Hey, hang on,
come up and eat innings.
Hang on, John. I think Martin is in the comfort zone that he's just comfortable.
He loves it in Texas, yeah.
Yes, he loves where he is, and he's pitching better than he made his first All-Star game for the Rangers after he left the Rangers and went to how many organizations? 1, 2, at least 2. You go to 3 and come back?
I think it was just 2, Minnesota and Boston.
Minnesota and Boston. Okay. So now he's comfortable and he's pitching the best of his life and he's comfortable. So I think that bears a little bit and why they're not talking right now. Just because they're, he'll be a free agent at the end of the year. When people try to come at him, he's already been in Boston. He's already been in Minnesota. He's already seen all the stuff. Where's he most comfortable?
Yeah, but that's not baseball. I mean, as fine as that is and as great as that is, that's not the business.
That's
and
what
believe
I was about
me,
to ask you, John, is it going to take an astronomical number to get him away from Texas?
No, I mean, look, so here's what happens. They're going to listen until the deadline Tuesday, and if someone's stupid enough to offer a top-of-the-line prospect, and look,
it's not going to happen.
But what
I know what you're thinking.
Walker said you got to fill that spot. You got to have somebody to tackle who sucks, who could eat innings, or go get another. You know what? If you sell Martin Perez for someone's top prospect because he helps the team know, you can turn around and go take a low-level prospect and probably get another starting pitcher rental right now to just bring in to eat some innings here to go the rest of the year. And maybe, even Jordan Lyles or something like that just to eat your innings. I mean, that's what you're doing.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So you got
I get it.
You got to have the innings to eat because you can't give those innings to Reagans right now because you don't know how much left he's got on the arm. And
you got to limit things. You got to limit.
That's why my thought process is that you need to acquire someone. If you claim you're still trying to win, and every single time that I feel like I read anything about, the trade deadline and the rest of this month, it's Chris Young saying, like, yes, we're looking for 2023, but we're essentially not trying to make this team worse in 2022.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, you're not trading off who's been your best pitcher this year and then filling the spot with Dallas Keuchel. Like, that just doesn't seem to gel with everything that he said.
Well, and that's another one I wanted to ask John about because he knows he's more in than we are. John, what do you think about the Dallas Keuchel signing?
There's absolutely no reason whatsoever not to do that.
Yep.
I mean, it cost you absolutely nothing except Twitter outrage.
Yeah.
It's the only thing it cost you. I mean, there was nothing else. Hey, this guy makes $20 million a year. I mean, if he ever makes it to the major leagues, with the Rangers, he's under control. Let's say Dallas Keuchel figures it out. Let's say that he figures it out and becomes.
They're paying below.
Go ahead and let John finish, CJ.
Sorry.
But let's say that Dallas Keuchel somehow figures it out or even semi gets close to what he was. That could be a Dane Dunning, somewhere like that, that's a back end of your rotation guy. He'll make $20 million a year. He'll want to stay in the big leagues. If he can, he never was a hard thrower. He was always one of these guys that moves it around. The Rangers are at the league minimum while Chicago's paying his $20 million a year, or maybe Arizona. I don't know when Arizona took him on, if that was the case, but there's absolutely no reason after he's DFA'd and clears waivers. There's no reason not to sign him to a minor league deal. And Tuesday night he's starting. So for round robin.
Yep.
Very, very true. So very true.
All right. Is there anybody that wants to ask questions? We got.
We're just going to keep right on flowing through unless you guys have questions or comments that you want to make. Just raise your hand.
That's all you got to do.
And we'll get you. All right. Best guess from you guys, CJ, John, Kane, Walker, and I saw Tyler. I think he was on here as well. So Matt Moore, I'm pretty sure he's going. What are the rumors? Where do you think he's headed?
Yankees.
Yeah, that's my guess too.
Yeah, I think the Yankees.
I mean, that's a guy that fits a lot of places, though. Like, there's not a lot of places where he doesn't fit.
True.
But, I mean, I think if I had to guess, the Yankees.
But man, we can just keep taking their prospects. That's okay.
Well, I'll take Gallo back.
Somebody said, Jeff Wilson today said trading to if y'all read Jeff's thing today that he wrote, he He said trade Matt Moore to New York for Joey Gallo and $2 million.
I don't even need the $2 million. I'll just take the shot on Gallo.
Would y'all be fine with that?
I have no problem with it.
I'd be fine with it. If you give me Gallo and like $250K in international bonus pool money, I'm game.
Yeah, I can do that.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm in
with that.
All right, guys, we got another request here. Let me add them as a speaker. All right, go ahead. Shay and Irving. All right, they muted their mic. All right. So yeah, Matt Moore, New York. Oh, Shay, go ahead. No, go for it.
I don't know if y'all cover this or not, but do you think Leote is good or lucky?
Good question.
Leote, maybe I should take this one, Ben.
Go for it, CJ.
Leote is very, very, very good. He has the capability of taking over a game. I saw him in person, bro.
But I read something in The Athletic about his BABIP being luckier than heck. His balls off the bat are real slow and all that whatnot.
No, that's all bullshit.
Well, here's what you need.
It's not all bullshit.
No,
so, yeah,
he don't hit the ball hard. That's what they were saying.
Oh, so yes, he does. Well,
he hits the ball hard, but averaging a batting average of like north of 430, which I think is where he was at the other day on balls in play, is just. That's just something that's not really gonna.
Yeah, that's an anomaly. But what y'all are seeing right now is what I was banging the table on, and Ben can back me up, and John can back me up. I was banging the table the last 2 years when he was sucking. This guy is really good, really, really, really freaking good. He's a generational talent. And now,
so yeah, I mean, while he could be, here's what he is in reality. You don't need him to hit what he's hitting right now.
No,
you need him to hit. You don't. You need him to hit 260 still base. Because I'm telling you right now, for anybody that's been up in that press box, which is the highest seat in the stadium, and seen a ball hit to a gap and gone, okay, well that's a double, and he's gliding over like he's jogging, and somehow he gets to it. This guy is a stellar defender.
Amen.
And so, and what he's doing at bat, so he did this new thing this year where he's dropped his bat and he's being more patient at the plate. That's what's been impressive is his plate discipline. And if you've watched his at bats, he's worked counts, and that's what's good from both sides of the plate. He did strike out 4 times in a row or 5 times in a row here, but that's going to happen to anybody. But that he's still 23 years old. You know, he's younger than Josh Young.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and Josh Smith too. So,
and
this guy, he might be, I tell you right now, if you want Juan Soto, say goodbye to him.
Yeah.
Because he's gone.
You are correct.
He's going to be part of that. They want 4 or 5 prospects, and they want a major league
year after year for the past 2 to 3 years. Ben knows year after year, like, don't give up on Leote. Don't give up. When he was sucking last year and he got sit down at spring training and whatever, like, this guy, when he figures it out in his head, is the best player. He can affect the game in so many ways it's championship worthy. Like, that's a guy you want to have that can do everything. He can hit for power. He can unless
you get Juan Soto, and I'm just fine sitting.
I knew it.
All right, we have another request from at Fungo29. All right, M. Jones, go ahead.
You guys got to unmute yourself.
I can't unmute you.
Just click the mute button that says mic is on or mic is off.
It's a little microphone down at the bottom.
All right, well, we'll see if they get back on in a minute. But
my only hope for Leote is that he starts to walk more, so that if the BABIP or whatever does come down,
Walker,
I think
Walker, you and I are kind of in the same boat there. I agree, and I also want him to bunt more.
You want him to what more?
Bunt
for hits.
Oh, I'm anti-bunt all the time.
Well, you are.
I'm like, I'm anti-bunt at all times. Even though I've gotten to the point where I was sitting watching the game today, and I was just sitting there thinking, like, as bad as this team has been late in games, I was like, do you just bunt the guys over and try to score one? And then hope it doesn't?
Yeah.
But I will say this: if Leody will walk more when the BOBIP comes down, his OPS and his WRC plus will both stay high. So
yeah,
like I just want him to get up to around 10%. He's just shy of 7% on the walk rate right now. The strikeout rate's fine, honestly. It's like 25%. It's not great, but it's not terrible.
All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's ways where Leody's going to grow, and then there's other ways where Leody's going to regress. But, like, all in, I think he's, like, an above-average hitter. And as that, he's an incredibly valuable core piece of this roster.
All right. Caleb loves sports. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got two questions. Do y'all think that Kumar Rocker will be called up before Jack Leiter? And what is the time frame for Brock Porter, do y'all think? I know he's young. I was just curious, like around the time frame for Brock Porter.
Ben, you want me to start?
Go ahead and let John start on this one. John, what do you think?
Yeah, our podcast, damn it.
That's all right.
I Kumar Rocker, don't think about seeing him. Well, I mean, we got to see him first.
Well, the question was, who are we going to see first? Are we going to see Kumar? Or are we going to see Jack Leiter? Right now, I would tell you Kumar.
Jack Leiter.
Probably.
I would also say Kumar.
I'd absolutely guess Kumar.
I would also say Kumar.
Yeah.
Y'all think Kumar?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
just because, look, if Jack Leiter was pitching the way he pitched last night, every night,
yeah,
then definitely it might be something that you could think of. Kumar, listen, I talked to, we had Kip Fag on the other day. We talked to Kip at the deal after Kumar, they drafted him. Unbelievable the way it was. And I know that Frontier League is a bunch of college players that don't get drafted that play in that Frontier League. It's one step below I forget the other one that's the top independent league. And they said he was dominant. They compare the Frontier League to probably about high A ball at the highest. Low A to high A, but it doesn't matter. He was dominant in the 20 innings that he pitched there. So his stuff looks good. Now he's got to come here. He's going through the lab. If you've never been to the spring training, they have this lab. He's in the pitching lab right now. Mm-hmm. He'll probably pitch a little bit in the ACL, which is the Arizona Complex League. And then by the end of the year, he's only got 20 innings. I mean, they want to get him a couple innings. He wants to throw a couple innings.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess he ends up at either Hickory or, he might end up in Hickory, although he's older than Jack Leiter. He's a year older than Leiter. He might end up at Double-A. But, the Jack Leiter at Double-A thing, while he shows he's good to be there, he struggled a little bit. And I think it's the strike zone and the ball.
Yeah.
But Kumar Rocker, throwing the way he threw, if he does that starting next year, he's absolutely the guy that could, unless Jack has a complete turnaround the end of this year, I would say Kumar Rocker's the one that's probably going to be there. As far as Brock Porter goes, look, this guy, I don't think people understand. In a lot of draft, I mean, this guy was a top 10 pick in a lot of them.
Yeah.
And he was high school,
arguably the number one pick.
Did you see his number were ridiculous?
Yeah, they were crazy.
They were video game numbers. This kid right here, now he's obviously got he's only had 63 innings this year that he pitched. And he only had a .31 ERA or something, and he had 3 no-hitters or whatever. So, he's probably just going to go to the lab. I doubt very seriously he does anything. He might get in an ACL game because they're going to watch his arm because he's got more innings on it. Yeah. Next year, he's probably going to start out he'll start out at probably down east.
Yeah.
Maybe even start at ACL and then go to down east. The timeline on him, at least 2 years, and that's 2 years is pushing.
Yeah.
In his third year, and that's if he's really just hitting all strides. He'd be about 20, maybe 21. That's okay. If he's ready, he's ready. He throws 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
His changeup is big league ready. His off-speed stuff is good. So you're not going to see him for at least 2 years, probably 3 to 3.5.
That works.
Yeah, John, I think sorry, guys. John, I think you bring up a good point on that. I think it was a steal of the draft, if you really think about it, with Brock Porter. Kumar, I definitely will see. I could see him pitching this year.
But he'll pitch. I don't think he'll be the big leagues this year, but yes, he'll pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as Brock Porter, I see his ETA to be around 2025, give or take.
Yeah.
But he's a stud. I mean, that's why so many teams pass on him because they didn't think he was going to sign. And, of course, the Rangers had the overslot money on it. So they could pay him that much money.
Yeah, once he got past 15, everybody else still had second.
Yeah, they backed off. Everybody else backed off. It was weird.
Because there was a lot of good talent that went deep into the second round. And once you got in there, even for those saving money, they knew they weren't going to save but a million here or there, and they knew what it was going to take. That slot, when you get past 15, just the slot money itself was below what he was saying he was going to take.
Yeah.
And
And they said that his pick was, at his position in the fourth round, it would have been like $400,000 or $565,000 or something. Well, of course, the Rangers offered him $4.2 million or something.
3.7.
Yeah.
Or was it 3.7?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that's a done deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to have to pay a little tax on it too, but they are okay with that.
All right, we got a question from Tony, and then Caleb loves sports again. Tony, go ahead.
All right, just landing at Fortnite. I'm glad I popped in here because I'm curious. You said the Frontier League's equivalent to A-Ball. I'm just curious. I don't really know anything about the Frontier League at all, but is that true? And then I'd be curious kind of about Martin Perez, if y'all think we're going to trade him.
Yeah, so, that's what I hear the Frontier League. I hear the Frontier League is the equivalent of A-Ball between high A and low A. So it's a bunch of college kids that don't get drafted. Some of them come from smaller colleges, and there's only 20 rounds now, so it doesn't mean they're bad players. With only 20 rounds, these are kids there's kids right now playing in Ranger system that are up in the upper end of it that have a chance to be in the big leagues and have been in the big leagues that have been draft picks in the 28th and 30th round. Look at Ryan Doro, played last year for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He was a 34th round pick or whatever he was. So a lot of these kids don't get drafted, don't have eligibility left. Frontier League's one that they go sign, they get paid a little money, and it's drafted and it's scouted pretty heavily.
And then Martin Perez, we talked about a little bit earlier, but we think that there's a chance he gets traded, but we don't think the Rangers want to trade him. I don't think he wants to go anywhere, but baseball business, they both know what's happening. If they get the right offer, then Martin will ship out. I don't personally think Martin's going to get shipped out during the trade or before the trade deadline. Just me personally.
Yeah, you've seen no links. You've seen no links on Martin either. A lot of times you'll see at this point we kind of know who's looking at who and
right.
And I know that we don't know everything, and there will be players that get traded that maybe we haven't seen names on or anything like that yet. But at this point in time, there hasn't been the Yankees called about Martin Perez, the Dodgers, whoever else. I feel at this point we're less than 48 hours out, and if he was going to get traded, I feel like we would have at least heard some links or something like that.
Except for this.
Oh, we lost John.
So I joined in later. I don't know what y'all were talking about how y'all's thoughts about Martin Perez, but in my opinion, it would have to take a dumbass team to come out there and say, "Hey, I'll give you a top prospect," or maybe something like that to get rid of Martin Perez.
That's desperate last minute. What I'm saying is if they miss out on some of their other people they're trying to get, that's what would happen.
Yeah. All right,
I'll take that Jordan Walker cat that hit a couple homers against Frisco today. I'm saying that tongue in cheek, not literally, but
oh my God, he's good.
Yeah, he's free.
All right, Caleb loves sports. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just got one more question about this draft. Obviously, we know the two people, Brock Porter and Creamer Walker. Is there anyone else that they drafted that people should keep an eye on for the future as well? I think they signed 8, right? Is that what the total final number was?
So they had to sign the top 10 to make the money work for Porter. And so a lot of those guys were low leverage seniors out of college with less eligibility. Jeff, there was one of them Jeff was talking about. I have to go back and listen. I can't remember.
I'm interested in the fifth round guy, the guy that's got that plays center. I think he plays center field. He has double plus speed and gets good jumps in the outfield. I'm interested in that guy.
Are you talking about Tommy?
I think it was I can't remember who. I can't remember the name, man. After Porter, I pretty much tuned out and took my victory lap.
I think it was Pollard.
I did the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Chandler Pollard.
Yeah, Pollard. That sounds right.
Yeah, that is. I think you're right, Walker. And I think that's who Jeff was talking about too. And we talked to y'all. You ought to go listen to the one with Kip Fag. He kind of went over everybody in the draft that they had. I know it's funny. I didn't have the nerve to ask him how much he was made fun of growing up, but he is he's good at his job, and he can talk baseball all day long. But he was talking about some of those guys, and I think that's right, Walker. I think it was Pollard that he was talking about. I look, once they got Porter, I'm going to be honest. I got in a drunken phase and just kind of sat back and halfway paid attention. After that, I couldn't believe they pulled it off.
That's how I was. I was just kind of like, all right, whatever happens from here happens. Like, it is what it is.
Gravy. The rest is gravy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I mean, anytime you get an outfielder that has a good glove and double plus speed, that's at least someone you pay attention to, even if he ends up just being a dude later who makes the majors as the please go in and pinch run and steal second and third because we need to score in the ninth. Like, yeah. So, I mean, I'm definitely not labeling him a dude or anything. I'm just saying, like, it'll be one to keep an eye on because he will have to hit.
I agree.
All right.
Agreed.
Alex C., go ahead.
All right. So I don't know if you guys have already talked about this one, but it's a couple of deals that have been rumored around that kind of intrigued me. Are Tariq Skubal and Pablo Lopez. What kind of package do you think the Rangers would have to put together to get one of those guys?
I will give my left kidney for Tariq Skubal. If you follow me on Twitter, I've been tweeting pictures of him like every single day for the last 5 years.
Yeah,
I would give my left kidney for Skubal.
Walker, you're pretty infatuated with Kubal. I'm not going to.
You got to also think about how much
Skubal. I'm sorry, I said Kubal.
Yeah.
Skubal.
So we talked about this too on Twitter, John and everybody. Like, what would it take to get Juan Soto?
A crap ton.
Okay, let me give you a scenario. Okay, so
I can give you a scenario too. It would take all of our top 5 prospects.
No, they don't want that. They want a major league ready thing too. So what you're probably looking at, they're going to want, first of all, right now, and this is why it's not totally out of the question. I know they say that the Rangers aren't in on it, and they probably aren't. But Jack Leiter would be asked for,
Jack
and would
Leiter,
probably
Cole Winn.
It'd be Leiter. I know.
They're going to ask for Leote. They're going to ask for Leote.
Yeah, it'd be Leiter. It'd be like Leiter, Winn, Young, Leote. Probably like Duran, Evan Carter, Owen White. Like, I mean, like the list goes on.
Yeah.
They want.
Listen, guys, do y'all do that? Do you want to do that?
No,
I don't.
No, not at all.
No.
Listen, I've got a package that I would do. And it probably seems like a lot to y'all, but I think Leiter would be part of the package, and I think they're okay letting go of Leiter for one reason. In this draft, they got 2 potential frontline starters to replace him, plus a guy.
But do they know that? That's the thing.
Okay.
Do they know that?
But the thing is, right now, Kumar Rocker is probably ahead of Jack Leiter. So this is a guy that was more well thought of than Jack Leiter in college. He was a higher rank. The only reason that Kumar Rocker wasn't the number 1 overall pick in his draft was his velocity drop by the end of his year. He was still pitching well and pitched him into the College World Series, but his velocity had gotten down to the low 90s. Now he's touching 99 again.
Yep.
And he's had that little scope. They've got him, so Jack Leiter can headline a deal. You're looking at something like this. Leiter, it would be Leiter, Taveras, Duran, Carter, and then someone like Gutierrez or Acuna at the end. And I think if Washington didn't take that deal,
I think you got to add 2 more on that, John. That's what.
No, you don't. You don't. I think that would.
Why? Because
I think that offer right there is the best offer that they've had. I guarantee you.
Okay,
it's the best offer they've had.
That's not going to get done because how much control?
Well, then it doesn't get done because you're not going above that. Then,
how much control would the Rangers have over Soto though?
2.5 years.
Right. So
I think the Rangers actually offered more than what John just said, and they got turned down pretty much immediately.
So then you don't do it.
Yeah,
then that's why. Guys.
Yeah, then it's not happening. I agree. Then it's not happening.
And that's where I'm at. Like you don't strip apart 5 years of a rebuild for one guy.
No,
and it's not the piece that gets you over the line.
Yes.
So that's why. But with Skubal, like you are going to have to give up a lot because he's perceived as a frontline starter with 4 years of control. And so you would have to give up a lot. I don't know that Leiter is in that deal, but I mean, you're probably looking at something like, and they want pieces close to the majors. So you're probably looking at like Young, and then you're probably looking at Foscue as a piece that they would want to just get. I think the Rangers want to offload Foscue.
Let's talk about that. Foscue. I think Foscue is going to be traded because he doesn't have a spot.
I mean, if he's going to get traded, though, they have to buy something, and I'm not super convinced right now. Earlier in the week, I was convinced they were getting a starter, and at this point, given the price on Luis Castillo, and just, based on some conversations I've had, I'm not super convinced that happens.
Yeah.
And even, I don't know, it would have to be a name. I think the Skubal price is probably absurd because I think the Tigers are also content keeping him because of his level of control.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think I think that they're going to want, I think you would have to give up some Young, Wynn, probably an Evan Carter type, and then Foscue. I mapped out a package for him not that long ago, but I would have to go back and find it.
All right, Landon, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to make a quick observation and then ask a question. But my observation, going back to the Martin Perez talk, hearing Woody talk, I think after Perez's start yesterday about, or 2 days ago, whenever it happened, about, wanting to keep him, it felt a little disconnected from the front office. And, because if he does get moved, it seems like based on his comments, he's not going to be happy, and it sounds like to him that's not the right move to make. And so I just thought that was interesting.
I'm going to go ahead and say this, buddy. Everybody I've talked to and everybody I trust says Martin there's a strong likelihood that he's going to stay a Ranger next year. So John would know more about that than I would. So ask John that.
Look, I've said this over and over. The reason that the front office has not made an extension offer to Martin Perez is because they are going to wait till 5:00 Tuesday to make sure nobody gets desperate and stupid. After that, and he's not traded because actually they're going to actually want something in return for him. And if no one's willing to put up what they're willing to do it, starting the day after that, I guarantee you're going to hear that they've been in talks with his people on an extension. And that's exactly what's going to happen.
Bingo.
All right.
Well, I mean, I think going back to the original point about Woody, Woody wants to keep him because Woody wants to win games.
Yeah.
He's not going to go out there and be like, oh, no, I want to trade this dude.
Yeah, I agree.
He wants to keep him because he wants.
Yeah, but Woody answers to other people.
Correct. All right. At Tuscan Leather, go for it.
All right, yeah, I was just the Martin Perez trade talks and everything. My take on it is probably that they are probably waiting on somebody to get desperate, and it's one of those things nobody's right now. You got Molly and Montas and all these other guys in the market. Even rentals, you got Rodon. So I think really they're just waiting until those guys go. So you're not going to hear teams really engaging with the Rangers on talks with him until those dominoes start to fall and the options thin out.
Well, and John and Ben and Tyler and Kane can maybe agree with me on this. Why not wait till the last second? Why not?
Well, and you're right, CG, on that. That's the way it usually happens. I mean, it comes down, especially on these trade deadlines. It's going to come down to the last few, hour or before, and they're just going to wait and see what's going to go on. And then now, if they get a ridiculous offer, I mean, you've got to pull the trigger with the Rangers. But, I mean, it's going to take one of those teams to make a bonehead move to do it. But if you're offering a top prospect for Martin Perez, you got to take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
exactly. You can money whip him in the offseason. Even if it hurts his feelings, you can money whip him.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm talking money whip him 3 years, $45 million.
Yeah.
Well, I heard there was a package out there. If they do want to re-sign him, it was a 4-year deal for $57 million or $55.
And he would love to have that.
About John Gray, because John Gray's and look, I love Martin Perez, and his season is unbelievable, and I hope it stays. But let's be honest, this is an outlier for him.
Yep.
And I hope he's figured it out. John Gray's a legit top rotation guy, not an ace. He's a legit 2 or 3 on a good team. Martin Perez on a winning team is a good 4 or 5. And he is pitching like an ace right now, and he would be great on any team, any of these contending teams Martin Perez goes to. He's going to be the third starter in most of them. He's not going to be the first or second starter. So I don't know that they'll go above what John Gray is, although the market
John,
could dictate
would you agree
that.
with me on this? John Gray has, he's better. He's a more talented Kevin Millwood, a guy that's going to eat innings. And also,
he's freaking way better than Kevin Millwood.
Yeah, there you go.
He's way better.
To go out there and be a horse.
John Gray's got ace stuff. He hits 99 miles an hour with that fastball.
And that slider is nasty.
Yeah, Gray's slider's like 70.
Let's talk about Jonathan Hernandez's debut as closer tonight. Tyler, I'm going to ask Tyler, what did you think of him?
Oh, I thought he did. I mean, it was his first save opportunity, and he came out and killed it. I think he's one to stick around. I mean, y'all were talking about Leote earlier about, I guess one of the listeners had asked about, is it lucky or how do you feel about
lucky? I'm defending Leote, though.
Hey, but I've got to actually swallow my own pill in the hard way with you, CJ. I was like, yeah, he's actually kind of changed my mind the way he's playing this year.
What I tell you.
All right, go ahead, D. Coop.
Yeah, hey, thanks. You guys may have already touched on this. I came in a little bit late, but to me, it looks like when you look at their record of 1-1 games this year, and it just like yesterday, the bullpen blowing up and stuff. It seems like we have a bunch of front end starters coming up in the next few years that can help with the rotation, but like the bullpen is the most concerning thing for me at this point. We have given up so many games in the 6th through 9th inning. And so I guess the question is, what do we really have in the farm system? I know there's that Chase guy.
Chase Lee, the Viper.
The Viper. But you mostly just hear about all the starters that they have. Is there any trade pieces out there that are controllable, or what do we have in the farm system? Because to me right now, that's what needs to be addressed.
You've got to understand that John Daniels, he likes to go closer from within. And if he doesn't get it on a contending team, when his teams are there and going, he'll go to trade deadline and he'll get it closer.
Can I take over here?
Go ahead, CJ.
I think, John just kind of said what I'm saying, but there's a lot of arms in the farm system, like Mark Church and the Viper, but they're not ready. So you kind of look at what you have, and Jonathan Hernandez coming off of Tommy John, and he was throwing a 99-mile-an-hour sinker earlier.
And Leclerc is back. That helps.
And Leclerc is back. So you got 2 closers, and then eventually you'll get back
Burke, another one, John. Yeah, Burke.
And so you got a lot of guys, got a lot of arms there, and you don't have to figure that out right now. And one thing I'm trying to preach, we've been trying to preach. John's been doing it. Ben and I have been doing it. The year is not this year. We're figuring shit out.
Yeah.
So
also, if you think about it, like what happened with Brock Burke and what we're talking about with Taylor Hearn, some of these good starters down in the minor leagues are going to wind up being bullpen arms once they get up here to the Rangers.
And I think AJ Lexi is going to be a damn good bullpen arm. I really do. And I think Spencer Howard is going to be a bullpen arm.
I think Spencer Howard's a starter.
I did too.
Okay. Yeah, he looked really good the other night.
Yeah, but
I'm holding on for a little bit longer with him as a starter.
Okay, I'm going to argue with you guys. One start. That was one good start.
He doesn't really have the stuff.
No, you got to go beyond that.
To be fair, I've said this before he had the start when he was like at the low point. I've said that I'm sticking with him as a starter.
Right. So you're pulling a Leote because I did the same thing with Leote last year. So you're going to take Spencer Howard. Cool. I'm down with it.
Hey, I think CJ, a pitcher that's in the starting rotation that I could see in the bullpen is going to be Glenn Otto.
That's one. Damn it,
Glenn Otto's a space holder.
I'd rather.
Okay,
I agree with John.
Okay.
Well, but the point that I was asking is when you keep throwing Garrett and Santana and Martin out there, and they keep doing what they've been doing for the last month, and like something has to change there, right? We've got to have something else.
Well,
and I know they're in win now mode.
But a good bullpen, I'll never forget. Someone told me a good bullpen can be built in like a singular offseason or trade deadline. And so that's always the last piece that comes with a contending team. They're not going to have like a a bad lineup, bad starting rotation, and this just absolutely awesome bullpen. Like that's just not going to happen. Like
that makes
you've got to give them some time. Like there's some pieces in the bullpen that when healthy will be able to pitch, back-to-back days, like Hernandez and Leclerc, and Burke won't need 2 days between outings because he'll be back healthy. And then they'll have other guys. Like, someone mentioned Mark Church earlier. Like, I really like Mark Church.
Yeah.
Maybe Chase Lee. And that's just internal options. That's not even guys that you potentially trade for or sign in future years. So, like, I get the bullpen thing sucks for now, but it is what it is. Like, I wouldn't be expending anything to try to fix it now because, what are you going to do? Go from 10 games under to 2 games under at the end of the year? Like, and that's just not really an investment worth making.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is it? Look at the record. If we had those 3 guys with different guys that were a little more top tier, like what is our record? That 1-run record is insane, and it's all because of the back of that bullpen.
Listen, even if they had performed to every analytic as expected, they're like 2 games over 500, and that's still not a contender. Like. That's fine. Like, that's okay. That's exactly what we were hoping for, is that they would make a lot of progress. And I think they have, and the frustration has been that they've been unlucky. They've been both unlucky and they've been bad late in games. And that's led to people wanting to fire the manager and all the other different sorts of stuff and DFA people and launch people into the sun and whatever else.
Well, they're certainly better. They're certainly better than last year, but now all the fans are seeing the potential. And so we're getting aggravated,
All right.
They need another big bat, too. So.
They do need another big. All right. Biggie O Stan, go ahead.
Hey, huge Rangers fan here. I was just wondering, as a fan of your podcast as well, how big are your wife's tits?
All right, get off the air, dude.
All right. Who else we got?
Pretty big, actually.
Thank you, John.
There you go, Ben.
All right, guys. Well, I think we are going to wrap it up. Thanks to John Moore. Thanks to Kane McCutchen. Thanks to Tyler Neilson. Walker, thank you so much for all the conversation you brought, and everyone else. I don't want to leave anybody out, but and of course, CJ, the co-host. Thank you guys very much for joining us. And we will talk to you next time on the show. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Ben.
Yep.
Thanks for listening to the Ranger Report podcast. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, and at therangerreport.com.